like it. And hello, everybody out there in Streamland. Just checking my levels, making sure everything's good to go. So we are rocking and rolling today. We are doing a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons preparations using the Fantasy Grounds Unity. And when last we left, if you guys were watching 18, we were messing around with some colors on a map, and what I ended up doing is I changed it, and so I put that in the comments below on the YouTube, and so now I just want to pull that up and show you what the end result is and what it looks like from a player standpoint. So what I showed you was not wrong. Again, these are just flavor. When you're adding to a map or when you're changing, I added a little cloud effect. Taking just a second, give me a minute. So this background, by the way, is a theme called Wizard's Desk theme. Hey Drake, I don't. I've got some sort of glitch that pops up this map every time. So let's go ahead and minimize it. I think that was the way I fixed it last time. So if you throw your token on here and turn on the line of sight, this is what the players will see. So you've got the lava underneath, the basic dirt, and then as they move through, they have the gray. So this was a black and white map. Out here is more lava. If you zoom in, you can see it's lava, magma, because they are underground. So that's the concept. Just adding these different things. So use the same ideals, and concepts I did last week. The other thing I did was just change these rocks into red. They were gray and now they're red, so they look like they're warm, either mixture between dirt and. Am I good for Friday night? Yes. We're down a player. I want to make sure we have at least 4. I am. Either way, whatever works, just let us know so I can make my plans. Social butterfly I am. So I just wanted you guys to see what this map looks like, and what the new theme looks like. The dice tower is pretty cool. When you put the dice over it, it outlines it a little bit. So it's pretty cool. Nicely done, as most of the themes are. So let's go ahead and. So today, what we're going to be doing is I've got a couple different things I want to do. I don't know that I'll have time to do them all on the stream, but I have a once a month campaign. Let me get it started and then we'll go into it. So I have a once a month campaign, and they're going to be doing a lot of traveling. And so the way I like to do things is whenever my people have a chance of random encounters, whether it's at night or resting, things like that, when plausible, I try to do all those random rolls ahead of time. So it's still random, but instead of having to build an encounter and a map and put everything down and make it all tweak it the way I want to, I've got them all pre-planned. So I know like the first rest that they take, overnight rest, they will have a random encounter. I'm just not rolling it at the second. I will sometimes even go so far as to roll the dice. They just don't know what the roll result is. They see the dice rolling and then, haha, you have an encounter. It just makes it to where everything flows a lot smoother. They don't have to wait for the 3 to 5 minutes it takes to set up an encounter. So that is why I do it that way. So that's what we're going to be doing. I want to do today is I want to take a couple different encounters so that as they're traveling, I can have them pre-made and ready to go. The nice thing is these are not just fights. Fighting is actually somewhat simple. Just pull a map, throw your NPCs on, and you're good to go. But there's going to be things like terrain effects, traps, things like that. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. This one's called Dungeon, by the way. The background is Dungeon. And if I'm not mistaken, Dungeon comes free with Fantasy Grounds. The Wizard's Desk, which I was using a minute ago, that comes with the Art Pack subscription, or you can buy it. I think they're like $10 a piece, $7, something like that. If you just want that one particular theme, this one comes. I'm almost positive wood, light, dark, and a dungeon come with the fantasy pack. Fantasy Grounds Unity. Could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. And it's also Classic as well, so actually, because I used this first in Classic. All right, so the first thing I want to do is get rid of this might work symbol for something else. It's cool, it looks nice, it's subtle. So I like that idea, but I just want to change it to something else. Let's see. I might go with that because that's where they're going to be going soon. I might just change it on the fly as well. Because they're going to be traveling through caverns and stuff, so having the moss and the thing. So for now, we're just going to leave it off. All right. So let's start going with these encounters, shall we? So there are within a module, there are actual tables built. So what I do, a couple different ways of doing it, but I'm actually just going to pull up the reference manual and pull up the story entry that way. There's a couple other ways that you can do it as well. So here is the random encounters. Boom. So now I can take this. So I'm looking at what I have down here to see if there's anything I want to replace right now. I think I'm just going to, for now, I'm just going to stick it in my shift. So down here you have the hotkeys. You also have another 12 set of hotkeys if you hold shift, another 12 if you hold alt, another 12 if you hold control. And then you can also combine them. So Shift Control gives you another 12. Shift Alt gives you another 12, etc., etc. Come on, Parker. All right, so everybody say hi to Parker. Yeah, he's Mommy and Pin decided to say hi to me. Hello. Hello, hello. Say hi to the stream. Yep, here we go. Okay. And Drake says bark, bark. Um, all right, so here's the list of random encounters. And it's nice. It's a good place to start, um, because you can then add from here once you've used up some of these. So you can also find it in the storyline, in the story, and pull up the story entry that way. Now that I have it hotkeyed, as you can see, I just clicked it and it pops it right up. So roll the encounter, boom. And the cool thing about Fantasy Grounds is it will then, all these, you see these little circles, that means they're links. So it'll automatically roll on that next table. So if once I roll an encounter, and the nice thing is I can go into the calendar, pull it up, so they are actually on, this is Kythorn, here it is, Flame Rule. So they're actually on Flame Rule the second. This is where they're started. So just make a note. So I don't have my timeline set up just yet, but we'll say, so the first increment, no encounter. Second increment, same thing. There was no encounter. So we're going to do no encounter. Third one, where's my map, my table? Doing my table. How am I looking? All right. I have a new frame. If you guys didn't notice. All right. So again, no encounter. So for the first little while they travel, it might give them a sense of false security. Okay, if I don't get something soon, I'm just going to ignore the no encounters because this is getting ridiculous. There we go. So you see it automatically rolled, boom, 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 something else. All right, so now we have Raiders. First they were in Oakland, now they're in Vegas, and now they're with my party. I'm just going to roll several of them. I don't think there is a It's only like 3 or 4 a day, so we'll move it to here. Then we have cliff and ladder. Now the cool thing is there are links. So that makes that aspect of it, this part of it, pretty simple. You just roll on the table. Again, there are more links. So we open up this table and you say generate. What this does is just generate an encounter for you. So we then can drop it. Boom, right there. There's our encounter. We are all set and ready to go. Close it. Now, I'm using this in the calendar to keep track of time and such. You could also just as easily do it by keeping putting it in making a new story. So, for example, right now this is what they're doing. This is where the storyline are in 01.06. So they're getting ready to start chapter 2. Which, do I have a story from chapter 2 down linked down here? I do not. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete that one. Boom. So you see that they're all numbered, which makes life a lot easier. And then you just come down here to chapter 2. And then what I would do is just right click, create an item. And it could be, traveling, or you can make it pretty much anything you wanted to. I would then number it. So let's just say, boom. And then you look at the storylines here, and you have travel. So 02.01. So I would just make this 02.01.01, or I can make it A.01A, any of those type of things. And then I would say day 1. So then now it automatically fits it in the story entry list where you want it in order, right underneath the travel. And then after day 1, I could make day 2, day 3, and have the same thing set up. Hey Atomic, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping by, saying hello. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. I prefer the calendar just so that it helps me keep track of where everything is. So, for example, looking at day 28, it tells me 10 o'clock, this is what happened. 10:30, this is what happened. And this is all in my GM section. So the player can't see any of that stuff. The reason, normally what I do is I keep my notes right here so that the players can then click on the calendar and they can remind themselves what happened, what days, how long it's been, that type of thing. The reason I'm not doing that here is because they are underground and they have no sense of time. They have been captured and they were drugged for an unknown amount of time, and it was actually several days. They don't know this. And they woke up, and every time after they would wake up, They would be forced to work and do some things, and then they would be put back to sleep through drugs um, for, again, unknown amount of time. Then they would wake up. Sometimes some of them would wake up and others would be still asleep, made to go work. The whole point is they don't know how much time has passed. Being underground, they're not going to know how much time has passed either. They're going to travel for a while. Then when they get tired, they're going to stop. They're going to rest. They're going to go again. But they don't know how much time will have passed. So it's on me to keep track and say, okay, I have rolled for encounters 3 times. So hard to keep time when on drugs. Absolutely. Especially if you have no sun to no day, no night to keep track of what's happening. So they're going to, um, I don't even know how long it's going to be before the characters even start to notice and try to keep track of how much time has passed, or we've eaten so many times, we've rested so many times, so point is, that's why I'm using this calendar, because I want to be really clear in my mind how much time has passed and what's going on. Later on, much later on in the story, there's going to be things happening in other locations, so the passage of time is going to be very pertinent to what else is happening in the story. So starting building the foundation now of using the calendar is going to help me keep track of everything. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's see, 2 was the Raiders. I do want to check and see how much time passes between each check. Do they suggest you check every hour, every 2 or 3 hours, that type of thing? So Cliff and Ladder is also a story entry. So again, all I do is just click the link. Boop. There it is, and I'm done. Both of those need maps. So the Cliff says, I know since I haven't been using the bigger font, so it's a little harder to read some of these things. If you guys leave comments below, because most of you are going to be watching this on YouTube, but if you do pop in, I do this on every Tuesday for D&D and every Wednesday for Starfinder. If having the text of what you can on the screen bigger will help, let me know. I can change that and then just revert back when I actually play. And that's something I'm willing to do if that will help. So the cliff says a cliff 2d4 plus times 10 high. So for example, it would be 70 feet high, blocks the party's passage. A rolled up rope ladder is visible at the top. So if someone can get there, then they can toss down the ladder. Otherwise, they lose a day's travel finding another route. If they remove the ladder, once they're at the top, they can decrease their pursuit. So they're being pursued and challenged. That's going to happen tonight. Tomorrow night when we play. Like I said, they're being captive. Well, they're breaking out now and in the process of fighting and doing all this stuff. And as they're leaving, the people who were captive are going to threaten them and tell them they're going to hunt them down. And in fact, they will. So they're going to be traveling, and that's another reason for this calendar, is to keep track of how often they have to backtrack and things. They're traveling through these caverns, underground caverns, and they have no point of reference besides where they've started. So they may travel for 45 minutes and then everything stops. There's no place to go. So they may have to backtrack 45 minutes. So that's an hour and a half they've wasted. And now they keep going again. So, and that's going to happen quite a bit. So that's why keeping track of the time is going to be important, because they're being pursued. And the pursuers, most of the time, aren't going to be making those mistakes. They're following the tracks. They're going to know where they're going, that type of thing. Sometimes using magical or like scent-based dogs and things, trackers to track them down. So the pursuers are actually going to be able to go a lot faster uh, than the people they are pursuing. Anyway, say all that to say, we've got our cliff. We need a map. Something like this, there's not really a fight involved. So it's sometimes something like this will happen, and I'll throw a map on there. Because if you don't, if the only time you give the players a map is when there's a fight, then logically, if there's no map, then they sit back and relax. They realize there's not going to be a fight. They're not going to worry about it. And vice versa, if I share a map, oh, that means there's going to be a fight. So now I'm going to start doing double keeping a watch out, and I'm going to draw my weapons out and everything else. And they wouldn't have done that. The only reason they did it is because I shared a map. So I like to throw maps out there often when there's no fight. So I believe so we have a couple days worth of travel set out. Let me go roll a couple more encounters just to see if we have anything else on the 3rd. I'm rolling really, really low. Tell you, I want one more encounter. We're going to have a no encounter, and then we're going to do another one. I might change these numbers too. Alright, so this one has both a terrain. So you can see from this chart I'm using, you have terrain encounters, you have creature encounters, and then if they roll high enough, you have both at the same time. So in this case, we have some crystal clusters, and they meet the Society of Brilliance. It's a sect of intelligent monsters that have banded together to solve all of the underworld's problems. So, and while they're here, and while they're doing this, this is in there we go, nice little picture. Excellent, saves me the time of having to find the picture. So again, I can just link all these things. Ooh, this is in the wrong place now that I realize it. Let's see, Control X. This should be in the GM section. Control V. Nice. So anyway, so we have our picture. And then it tells you what it is. It just means they're passing through this area that is infused with magic. And if they bang against some of these crystals, it bursts into a bright light and be blinded. You can also throw something at it, and it will do that as well. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, delete. So we're going to add this link here. So we've got the storyline, we've got the image. We're going to have the hazard. Don't really need the hazard because it's in the story, but well, we'll do it anyway. So what this is this shows you as an NPC. Any creature must make this roll, so I can just drag it over to the character and roll it. Same thing, I can just add this blinded condition to them. So it makes it really simple. Fantasy Grounds is awesome. This has also a trap, so I can set it on the map. If I so choose. And then in addition to this, there's the Society of Brilliance. Again, I'm going to put the story roll on the table to see which one it is that they meet. So they're meeting Skris the Troglodyte. And then we need a map. So you can pull up the picture. Boom, here's the troglodyte. Boom, there's our image. So this is an intelligent creature who's studying the thing. So this is one of the times where if they don't attack it, it won't attack them. This thing has a intelligence of 18. So this one is really smart. Um, and they'll probably see it first because the crystals are glowing. So as they come up on these crystals, they will see this thing inside it studying, maybe keeping notes, maybe having a magical. I'll probably have it have like it's Skris. Skris could be male or female, so I don't know which one it is. But anyway, probably gonna have like a magical tome that's it will speak, and then a magical quill will write in a tome, stuff like that. It also speaks 4 different languages, so it's gonna make it easier for them to talk to it. Um, cool. So we have all of our stuff here. Do we have our NPC? We don't. So we're gonna throw the NPC here. Boom. Oh, okay, we did. We did. I do know what I'm doing, don't I? All right, so there we go. So we've got 2 things set up. So all I need now are some maps. Now I already have some maps. Let's open up my second. This is 3rd day. So let's go to, actually let's go back to do a little bit more research. Each day of travel, check twice, is what they say. So I can actually probably open up a couple more days in my calendar. But for now, we're going to stick with these 2. I'm actually going to open it up on the 4th. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the cliff and ladder. So on this day, they have both the cliff and ladder in the morning, and then they come up on the troglodyte. We have our Orc Raiders here, so let's go ahead and put them here. Do I want to have it on the 2nd? Yeah, so actually on the 2nd, nothing happens because they have so much going on. I mean, there are so many times I rolled no encounter. So the first entire day, they're not going to run across anything of interest. Again, I just have to be careful not to put it on the day. Because again, they don't even know what day it is, but they don't know what month it is. One of their party members had a birthday, and they weren't aware of that. They aren't aware of the time that passed. Anyway, and then no encounter in the afternoon. Yeah, so this whole thing is interesting because the only thing they have to mark the passage of time would be like how long, if they have a torch. Every time the torch burns out, they know it's been 2 hours, that type of thing. They don't have, because again, you're just walking and walking and walking with nothing changing. Sometimes There'll be a patch of moss, and that'll be the most exciting thing you see for 45 minutes. Um, so trying to impress this upon them is a little bit of a challenge, um, but it'll be fun, hopefully, overall. And won't get too much drudgery. Having cool things like this troglodyte studying these magical crystals. I mean, that's just weird and cool. I like it. All right, so getting back to our maps, starts with the letter M. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but this was a thing I bought or got for free. I don't remember if he sells it for free or not, but uh-oh, I'm not seeing it. Oh, this is under tokens, that's why. Sure. All right, so we switch. It helps if you are looking in the right place. So just a little extra DM tip today. If you're looking for a picture, you should go to images, not tokens. All right, or maps, I should say. So, Zacchaeus is the guy who did this set of maps. So we have a lot of cool stuff. We have straight lines, and we have crystal caverns, and we have um, actual locations that don't actually have maps in there. So let's see. Fantasy Grounds also has some really nice Underdark maps that are just straight lines. Some of them have cliffs on, some of them are cliff, so they just drop off from both sides. Some of them have a little river, and that comes with Fantasy Grounds, so that's cool. So I'm not seeing the one I'm looking for. Let's take a look at this guy. Here we go, Underdark Crystals. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So let's take a look at this guy, see what it looks, see if this is one we want to use for our troglodyte. Now this is not going to be a fight. This is just they see this happening. So this will work. For what we want it to do. We're just doing a quick little thing. We're going to ignore this. So this is supposed to be the map size. And let's see if we check our assets. Do we have anything else? I'm going to go to all. We're just going to type in crystal. See what if we have anything, any kind of. Well, I have those. A little cheesy looking, but so my question is, are these look like they're JPEGs, which means that they're just going to be a black and white square. Is that correct? Yes. Come on. All right, so don't have anything that we can add to this, but so we add a grid. We'll just go with it as it is. We're gonna go with, first of all, let's see. All right, so first of all, what I do is I change the color. We're going to make it more of a gray. That's perfect. So as you zoom in, you can see it. Okay. And then all we need to do is add our line of sight. Line of sight. Take a line. We'll zoom in a bit on this area here. We want to do it inside just a smidge so that they can see. And again, how close and how exact you want to be is really up to you. You can make it really particular, zoom in really close, and follow the line exact. I'm sort of doing a medium to where it's following the line to some extent, but it's not perfect. The main thing is they can't see behind this, so they'll see the troglodyte, but they'll see the illumination and they won't know for sure if there's other things happening. If they run, hopefully they'll run across this thing after Fantasy Grounds Unity comes out with the illumination, and I'll be able to set the lights coming from inside these crystals. All right, so we have our crystal, our wall here, and then we're going to do here. And you can hold down your center mouse wheel and pull up, move the map around. So if your mouse wheel clicks, that's an easy way to do it. Control Z undoes things. So, dang it. So if we're doing stuff like that, moving the mouse around. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in again. Go up to the top. Give ourselves a little bit of room. I think, I've been trying to remember where I got these Zacchaeus maps. They might be available on DM's Guild or the Fantasy Grounds forums. I honestly don't know for sure. I'm about 90% positive that I mentioned to somebody or on the forums or something that I was doing Out of the Abyss, and Zacchaeus reached out to me and said, hey, I have these maps if you want to use them. So that I'm pretty sure because I know some of the developers, Rob Toohey and some of these other people uh, who know everybody. So I'm pretty sure that is what happened. Is that that's how I got these maps. You can find Zacchaeus on the forums. He's pretty easy to find. Traditional spelling of Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus. So he can definitely let you know if you're looking at running any kind of Underdark campaign, cavernous campaigns. He's made these maps, and they're very nice. I would presume he also has an updated version nowadays with the stuff I'm doing right now. And because it's got his name on it, he's probably doing a much better job than I am. Just because, like I said, I'm just doing it quick, fast, and easy. So we've got the big major ones. And now I like to do one on the outside. So I'm click rectangle. Because if you don't do this, then what happens is you can see everywhere throughout the entire darkness out here. So I also made sure to put it low enough to where it intersected these because I want to delete these. And I may add some where they're coming from. So I might undo that one I just did and so wherever they're coming from leading up to this cavern, instead of having them start in the cavern. We'll see. But so what we're going to do is we're going to take this, change the name. So this is Crystal Cave. By marking it as unidentified, this is the word that they will see. Go back to our play version. There we go. So now we close this and we want to add this here. This is our Crystal Cave. So we're going to add the link. Boom, image Crystal Cave. Now we open up our encounter and we put our troglodyte where we want it to be. So there's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different crystals where they could be. So it makes it simple. And we rolled a 2, so they're going to be up here in the corner over here. So under where it says placement, you grab the token, put it down, poof, and there she is. So and then close it, and it's gone. So now we're also going to take this stuff here. Let's take this story. Now let's go with we can link any of these things here too. So we're going to do the encounter and here's an image. We'll put the image on here as well. We'll have the story and the story. So we've got two stories, a picture. So all I have to do is pull this up and I can then just go click. This is what it looks like. Click. Here's what's happening. Here's the fight or the person. Hopefully they won't fight her. And here's the story of what she's doing. So this could be instrumental. If they handle this right, she could, I'm going to say it's a she, Skris could give them a lot of information on how to get the heck out of Dodge. That's their biggest thing. Like I said, if you think about the situation that they're in, they have no idea where they are. They don't know how to get out. And they're just totally lost because there's nothing to guide them by. There's no stars, there's no setting sun. They're just in some cave somewhere. And as they travel, they're going to soon find out, that there's everything down here. There's huge underground lakes. There's giant, humongous caverns. There's tiny, tiny tunnels that they can barely squeeze through, and everything in between. Nice people, mostly evil people, a lot of just weird, bizarre creatures that live in this underground world. Um, glowing crystals, mushrooms that you can use for wood and to burn, that you can eat, that make you stronger that can poison you. They're just mushroom people. There's so much that's down here. Um, but they don't know how to get home. They live above ground, and that's where they want to go eventually. Um, so I say all that to say, this person knows and has information on how to get out and how to get up. He doesn't know what's going on with them. He just turns and sees them coming in, or she. So Chris. So how they handle this, they could get some major clues, um, and some huge help. So we'll see what they do. So we've got everything ready to go. We are all set, um, with number one. I do want to change this to, actually, that's fine. I'll just make it the same thing. I'm just gonna say crystals, crystals. There you go. That's what it looks like. All right, so now, so this one, now we need our cliff and ladder. So we go back to our assets, go to our maps, images again. Now this one is the Fantasy Grounds battle maps. Again, it comes with Unity for free. A, B, C, D. We're looking for F. Fantasy Grounds. Oh, wait a minute. Underground map pack. Okay, this is a new thing I haven't seen, so let's just take a look real quick. Alright, so if I want, when I'm ready to make my own maps, I can with all these things. Very cool. Okay, good. Not what I wanted, but I could also type in battle, and that would pull up the battle maps. All right. Fantasy Grounds battle maps. Ooh, we have Abyss map pack. Okay. Oh no, Abyss is evilness. So you can see all these here are caverns. Look at all those. It's so awesome. And the nice thing is, like this one here, it has 3 different caverns. So you could just block out the 2, use the middle one. It's really nice. Okay, so what we're looking for is something that has a cliff that they have to climb. Um, so we will just use this one here. Actually, I'm going to use this one. It's going to be nice, thin. Actually, that one has grids. Do we have any that don't have a grid? Yes, no grid. Right there. Create image, boom. So now we zoom in, we can make our grid any size we darn well please. So just like that, we go like this. We're going to, does this have line of sight? It does. So you see how particular they were on this one? It's because they had the time and the desire, neither of which I have. But they've already done it for me, so it makes it really nice. So all we need to do is make our cliff. Go to all, and we go to cliff. Let's see what we have. See what pops up, if anything. Be pretty funny with the guy from Cheers. So they had a picture of the guy from Cheers, you know. Woof. Okay, so there's our cliff. We have winter and we have regular. So we will use the right there. So we go here to paint. We go here, poof. We turn it sideways. There we go. And then all we have to do is zoom in. Oh, we gotta set our grid first. Grid, boom. This is way, 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 way too big for what I want. So we're gonna bring it down to half that size. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Yeah, so this is about 400 feet. Perfect. All right, so now we zoom in. We're going to, of course, lower the grid. There we go. And for once, I'm not going to change the color. So now we go back to our paint. We go to our cliff face, turn it. And what we're going to do, so right now we're 0.9 and 0.1. So let's see. We have a line. What it looks like when we draw it. We're just going to draw a test run right here. Okay, so Control Z. Click, click. Killing me here. All right. So I want it a little wider than that. So we're going to go with 2. All right, so we should be good to go. So we're going to draw outside the line a little bit. And I want it to sort of come down here like this. So here we go. Let go, boom. So there's our cliff. Now, what we do is we go line of sight. I'm trying to remember where it was. There's one that says duplicate layer as, here it is, duplicate paint layer as walls. There we go. So we go here, we go back to our layers. So now we have a wall. You know what? Never mind. Change it. What is this? Nothing. Okay. Boom. All right, so now we have our cliff face. So check this out. We go duplicate painted layer, and then we move it down like this. Hit Control. Actually, I'm going to leave it right here. And what you do is you go to the color, and you go, like, you make it black, and then you make it see-through. And then you throw it under. So we have this. Actually, we're going to go ahead and leave it above it. We're going to go to our line of sight. Go to our line. We'll zoom in. And what we're doing here is we're setting this up so that actually we're going to make it a terrain. All right, so I'm not sure exactly what happened here when I was drawing. I don't know what that is, for example. So let's go click. So if you click this, select, remove point. There you go. All right, so now we click on play. We click on line of sight. We bring up our combat tracker. Where do I have an eye person here? I don't. Oh, that's right, because I'm not. I know why, but let's see. We're gonna have to. Well, let's add a person real quick, like. See, so that's what happens is they'll come upon here, they'll get to here, they can see the cliff, but they can't see beyond it. And then when they climb it, they can then see beyond it. Da, da, da. Very nice. So there's a cliff face. It's going to be 70 feet high. I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So we go to our painting layer, we go to our layers, go to our painting, and then I can just drag it. Let's make it that way. I made it taller. Okay, so let's do Control Z. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back to the playground. Okay. All right, so do I want to make it higher than that? It's only 10 feet high. I mean, it's 70 feet high, but it's only 10 feet wide. I think I'm going to make it a little bit wider, a little bit bigger. So, very simple. We just do the same exact thing we just did. We can go back to this. We go to painting. We go here. Whoa, 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 dude, stop. So because I want to be able to manipulate this separately, I'm going to make a new painting layer. I could just click down here and add to the painting layer that's already there, but I want to sort of stack it. So we're going to make this last one was 2. We're going to go 1.7. We're going to go here to turn on the line of sight. There we go. Back to our painting. All right, so this is click. So there we go. And then we're just going to sort of stack it. So let's see. We want it a little different anyway. Let's go one more. All right, so if we then move this down, yeah, I don't like the big lines there. See which one is which. Okay, that's the bottom one. So let's go to this one and see if we turn down the opacity, how that looks. Come on, I won't let me, oh, here we go. I'm pressing the wrong button. So if we go to layer, and now we change the opacity. We'll cancel this. We go here. Make sure we have the right one selected. We do. Change the opacity. All right, so can we just manipulate it this way? Let's see if we go to 10. Control Z. So this was 7, I believe. Okay. Let's see if we make it wider. 10 wide. I don't think that's going to matter. Nope. Okay, so it was 7. So I don't like how thin it is, so we're just going to delete this one. We'll turn it off for now, and we're just going to try again. Go to paint. Just going to try it again. Just going to make it a lot wider. So we're going to make it 10. That's 1, 2. That's a little bit too wide. So let's go with 7. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 squares. We want about half that. So let's try 4. There we go. That's better. And now we can see a clear delineation between the top and the bottom. So that's good. Okay, so it's upside down. So we go click, click. There we go. All right, so now we have our things. Let's go ahead and do our drawing. There we go. That's better. And then we can take this. So we go escape because we're done with that. Let's go to layers. And now we go to our painting copy, which is our shadow. Put it above it. And we're just going to move it a little bit. Do a little shifty. There we go. Let's move the whole thing down to about. All right, so now we have this. So now we just need to go back to do our line of sight, and we're going to do the same thing we just did a minute ago. We're going to take this, we're going to duplicate it. We're going to take our duplicated copy, move it down, and we're going to take our color picker, make it black, make it light like that, and then we're going to do it again, duplicate that one, and move it down. So we have this gradiated darkness, gradiated, whatever, so the middle part is darker than the rest. Okay, and now we go to line of sight. And I could take all these things here, let's see, and just move them. I don't know what magnetic snap means, so I'm just going to start removing some of these. Can I hit delete? I can, okay. So there is a way to, normally there's a, come on people, what's going on? There should be a way to just delete the whole thing, but I don't know off the top of my head what that is. So you can move the stuff around, but in this case I'm just trying to get rid of it. So what happens is every time a line intersects a pre-existing line, it makes another point. So that's why there are so many points here, is because it intersected all the different lines. There we go, see? So it can get to be pretty hairy when you're dealing with all these different lines that are made as you're intersecting other lines and running into things and stuff. All right, so we're getting close to done removing this one that's here. So we can put a new one on there. This was just a basic room and not a cavern. You can just move them up to pre-existing things. So this bottom part isn't really even that important. So I'm not really worried about that part, and we're just going to zip over here. Okay, so we're done. Escape. All right, so now we look at turn on our line of sight. There we go. Got our dude. He then walks up here. Boom. There we go. So that's closer to looking like a 70-foot cliff. Very high. You could even go bigger because it's 70 feet. So just impressing upon them that this is really, really high. I'm going to go ahead and add actually another, let's go to layers, paint, layers, go here, and I'm going to add a copy of that one because I want to make, add some more shadows. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go here to clouds. It's a cloud, it might be water that has a better thing. So let's see what we've got. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Something like that. Let's go with this one right here. Add this in, boink, and then we go color picker. We go to paint. We're going to add this in as a stamp. We're going to go color picker, black, bring it way down. We want it to be even more than that. We're going to go about 30. Oops. 30. Okay, good. And then it's 1/8, so we're going to make it bigger. We're going to make it 2.5. It's a stamp. So you can see here the stamp. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go boom and just stamp it in here. And we're going to make it smaller. .5. So now it's smaller, and we're going to do some more. Turn it a little bit. Shift. Put some more shadows in here. So just giving it a little bit of a some more shadows. And because it's so light, the more you stamp it, the darker it gets. Turn it. Just make this bottom part really dark. There we go. So now we have the illusion of height because of the shade. All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for now. I have, oh wait, most important thing of all. First of all, one is linking it. So we got to link it to the cliff and ladder. So first of all, we throw this over here. Boom, so we don't forget. Now we'll just put cliff. There we go. And then we lock it, pop it and lock it and pop it and lock it. All right, boom. There we go. Get rid of our accolade. Boom. All right, and because we now renamed it, I'm going to go ahead and put it over here as cliff. And last thing we're doing is because we moved it over to here, this asterisk isn't actually a link, of course, so we're going to move up to where it says cliff and put the link in. Boom. All right, so thank you for hanging out with me. I hope this was helpful. You saw how some of the embedded tables work. You can also make your own, so if you ever want to know how to do that, feel free to ask. I'll be glad to go over those details with you, show you how you can make your own embedded tables, those type of things. How to use the calendar, how to tweak a map a little bit, how to input a nice little encounter in there, friends and foes, how to do line of sight. So those are all some of the things we talked about today. If you want to see us do live D&D, I do that on Wednesday nights, a couple different times, 6:30 and then another one at 10. All of these things are on YouTube, so check out Spencer77 on YouTube. Like, subscribe, leave comments if you want me to cover anything or if you have questions about anything that I may have done. And whatever else you do, enjoy the rest of your day.